Hello dear viewer, I am a PlayStation 2 game collector. I'm trying to own every PlayStation 2 game released in North America. And this month, not one of my stronger months. I only have 5 games to add. I've actually bought more than these 5, but they're games that I haven't played, so I can't talk about or show you yet. And it's been difficult. Most of the games that I've picked up recently, I just don't want to play, like Sprint Cars 2. I don't want to play that. I hated the first one, but I'll get around to it eventually. I did pick up some more games that I am actually interested in recently, and looking forward to giving them a shot, but only 5 to talk about today, so let's get this over with. Capcom Collections Volume 1. Bought it sealed, so can't play it. It has 16 games, 15 of which are arcade ports, and the other is Super Ghouls and Ghosts, a Super Nintendo game. Some games of note in this collection are 1942, Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts, and Street Fighter 2. I am very curious about the game titled Pirate Ship Higemaru though. This game did get a Volume 2 release on PlayStation 2 as well, and it has Black Tiger on it, a game heavily referenced in Ready Player One. Best book ever. Next is Stretch Panic. This is a game with very mixed reviews. You play as a little girl named Linda who has a magical scarf that can pinch and stretch things. This game was created by a company named Treasure Co. Limited. These are the same people that made Mischief Makers for the Nintendo 64. Stretch Panic was Treasure's first attempt at making a 3D game, which may explain why it feels like a tech demo that was sold as a game. I love the cover art for this game and bought it because of this, but this was a letdown. I doubt that I'll play this ever again. It's strange and I don't like it. Next up we have the musical game Amplitude. This was the second game released by Harmonix. It's a sequel to their first game, Frequency. After these 2 games, they would go on to release several Karaoke Revolution games, but what brought Harmonix into everyone's home was Guitar Hero and Rock Band. Yeah, they made both. I always thought they were competing games, and I guess they were, as Guitar Hero was released by Activision and Rock Band was released by MTV and Electronic Arts. The video game industry gets weird sometimes, and by sometimes, I mean a lot. This is just another example. Back to Amplitude though. This game was released in 2003 and it has a lot of bands that I grew up with, like Weezer, David Bowie, Blink-182, and Garbage for example. These bands on top of a competent rhythm platform make for a good game, but then came the Kickstarter remake. I have never played the new reboot of the game released on PlayStation 3 and 4, and I doubt I ever will, as I only recognize one band on the list. Most of the music in this new version was made by the in-house studio. Maybe the music is great, but I'm not so into the gameplay that it would affect my purchasing decision. Why do we buy music games? Parappa the Rapper was one of a very few games available when the original PlayStation came out. Guitar Hero had great bands and songs. I love the gameplay of Guitar Hero, but if it featured music I didn't like, I don't think I would have ever bought it. I don't know, something to think about. This game is okay, but it is difficult to play on a modern television with the slight lag that comes with hooking up a retro console to a modern television. Next we have Sea Monsters: A Prehistoric Adventure, a game from Atomic Planet released by DSi. 2 game companies you never want to see on a video game case, as they are both responsible for crappy shovelware games and nothing else. Ever. They only release bad games or ports of good games that were made by someone else. Having said that, this game is a confusing mess, but for a couple of dollars, it's passable enough. It's not a good game, but it does grow on you as you learn how to work around all of the game flaws like double-clicking controls, help icons that don't make any sense, features that don't seem to exist like the sneak ability, and almost zero educational value. The song that plays during the game is nice though, A+ on that. And the final game added to the collection this month is Magna Carta: Tears of Blood. This is a game that I've been looking forward to playing. It's been on my wanted list for a long time and it was a big ol' letdown. This is sort of a standard JRPG format with an obnoxious timing feature. I say this is sort of a standard JRPG format because this is actually a Korean game. A KRPG? This game was developed by Softmax, who is known for their game series War of Genesis. This company is still around and has branched out into films and MMO games, but I kind of hate this game. It looks nice, but it's unplayable on a modern TV, and even though I have a CRT television connected to another PS2 for situations like this, I still have no desire to play this game. I enjoy turn-based RPGs like Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest. I also enjoy action-adventure games like Secret of Mana and the Zelda series. But a hybrid system is hard to pull off. Mario RPG did it, but Magna Carta did not. There is way too much emphasis on this timing system with no room for error, which is not fun. Maybe the story makes up for some of these problems, I don't know. I hate to put this game back on the shelf to never be played again, but I'm not going to spend my limited free time playing bad games. There are other games in this series, maybe they're better. Okay, so this video has turned into kind of a downer, but rather than make it cheery, let's just run with this depressing theme. I think I have most of the great games that I want to play. There are still some out there that I don't own yet, but the pool of quality titles is getting smaller as this collection grows. I have this stack of games that I bought and just haven't gotten around to trying, as most of them don't appeal to me. At the top are games that I just got and will try to play soon, so those may be good. Like Tony Hawk 3 for example. That game is great. Now I will resort to the classic GameStop bashing tactic. I have 3 games that taint my collection, and I assume GameStop is to blame for that taint. First are these 2 games, Sonic Riders and Star Wars Battlefront, that have greatest hits discs inside of black label cases. This drives me nuts, and I'll likely try to find a disc-only copy to replace the game that I already bought. And then there's this. This infuriates me and is still a problem with GameStop today. They open their video game shipments with a box cutter. I get so mad when I go to buy a video game and I see this slash across the game case. Dude, no one wants to buy these damaged games. Stop slashing your products with a box cutter. What the hell is wrong with you people? Please don't take out your job frustrations on my game. Okay, I don't actually want to end with all this negativity, so let's talk about buying things from half-priced books. Sometimes I can find old DOS games at half-price books, but not very often. What I can find on a fairly regular basis is game guides in the clearance section. I'm always looking for more issues of PSM magazine and old video game guides, but I'm not willing to pay more than a few bucks for these. The prices of game guides are all over the place depending on where you shop, which is why I bring this up. If you live near half-price books, check out the clearance section for game-related stuff. It's not hard to find things that are worth the buck or two they're charging. I think I'm going to switch the way I count my games. It's been difficult to figure out how many PlayStation 2 games there are that have been released in North America. Some games are released in packs and are sold separately. Since I use PlayStation Age to track my collection and because they've been easy to work with when it comes to missing titles, I'll be using their game total, which is currently 2009. This then means my game collection total is 432 games out of 2009 for a total of 21.5%. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, click like. If you didn't, subscribe. And if that Sea Monsters game looked nice and terrible, I did make a video about that before. Put it right here so you can click it or touch it if you're on mobile. You're probably on mobile, and that's okay. You're okay. Watch some more videos. Thanks for sticking around.